welcome back to another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. It's myself, Culturecams. I'm here with episode 13. So, this week, we've got a few things to go through. Listen, football's coming thick and fast. Having to think on the spot, having to see what I've analysed a few things. And of course, you guys know I'm always going to leave questions for you guys to answer. This week, something that came to my mind, of course, Liverpool and Man City had their game when, at the time of recording, that now it was the same day. But by the time this comes out, it'll be like 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever. And City obviously battered them 4-1. City have battered them 4-1 and they're taking 10 points ahead of Liverpool now. So, the question that I wanted to ask and I've discussed with a few people is, will this be the best title that Pep has won at Man City, this league? If City go on and win this Premier League, will this be his best win? So we've got to remember, he's won the title 17-18 with 100 points. Won the title 98 points in 18-19. And this season, we don't know what the point tally is going to be. But will it be his best title over there? And the reason why that question is being opened up is because you got to look at the way the season first started. You know, people doubted me. I didn't know if they were going to win the league because Liverpool started all right. I know they lost 7-2, but it still looked like it would be a thing where Liverpool go through and probably win the Premier League. And people doubted City. You know, people doubted whether City have rebuilt properly, whether they're going to have to take a bit more time, whether they need this, whether they need that. And you've got to consider City do not have Aguero the whole season. And I know City have won titles before without Aguero. Not without Aguero. He always contributes to the season. But this year, I don't remember Aguero playing a match. I mean, he probably has, but I can't remember. He's basically been non-existent. And, of course, he had COVID. And then his child's grandfather and Diego Maradona passed away. And apparently he took that really hard. And he's had injuries. So there's so much that's gone on with Aguero this season that he's been unavailable for selection. And it's a shame because, you know, when you think about Aguero was chasing records, man. Like, people were thinking maybe one day he might get Shearer's record or would he get ahead of Rooney's record. It doesn't look like that's going to happen. Rumours are saying that it potentially might be his last season at City. Who knows? But back to the point. They haven't got a recognised striker at the moment. They play Gabriel Jesus. Well, they play him every now and again, but there's not somebody that there's necessarily... I don't think Pep looks at him and thinks, I can rely on you in a 38-game season. So which is why we've seen situations like Gundogan... not Gundogan. Phil Foden playing false nine. Raheem Sterling playing false nine. Kevin De Bruyne playing false nine. So I think when you look at that, for example, the fact that he could potentially win a Premier League title without a striker. The doubt that they've had... And... for me, I think it will be very impressive. This is my opinion on it now. So that's the question that's put out for you guys. But in my opinion, I think it will be a very impressive title. But the only thing that I would say is that their great rivals at the moment, we know, is Liverpool. And at the moment, Liverpool are bandaged up, you know, got injuries here or whatever. And they're not going to have the greatest of seasons. They've actually had a 27-point drop-off, which is at this point of the season is actually the highest in Premier League history ever by a title winner. So that kind of explains what kind of season that they're going through at the moment. So for me, I probably wouldn't be... The title that I rate for Pep, the Manchester City title, is the 18-19 season. I'm sure I've touched on it a little bit before. Maybe you guys have seen a stoppage time or anything like that. That season, Liverpool were basically perfect. They got 97 points. City went, and I believe somebody needs to correct me. I'm not sure. They won, I think it might have been 16 or 17 games in a row in the league or something like that to go on and win the Premier League. They broke a record to go and win it. So for me, I think that was the tightest because that's basically asking for perfection to go and win. And they actually had a great rival. When you look at the 17-18 season, which is 100 points, Centurions, most points ever. We're always going to remember that title, Centurions. But their closest rivals were Jose Mourinho's United, who never really looked like threatening. First 4 games, it was 4-0 FC. But then from there, kind of just, you know, it faded away and it never really looked like threatening for the title. So City did run away with it. United got 81 points, which wouldn't have even been enough to win a lot of Premier League seasons anyway. So, but then when you look at Liverpool with 97 points, that would have been enough to win every single season in the Premier League, except from obviously now the one they won last year and the Centurion season. But City kept on going, and went on to win it. And that's the one thing that I would say is that maybe if City win the league, I'll probably do like a closer, like, Pep Guardiola discussion. And I know a lot of people are interested in hearing about who's the GOAT, Pep or Fergie, who's the GOAT, Pep, Jose, Fergie, all that type of stuff. But the one thing I would say about Pep Guardiola is that when Fergie dominated in terms of he won trophies and season after season and dominated English Premier League. But one thing about Pep Guardiola that I would give him above anyone else is that when Pep wins, when Pep smells blood or wins, he leaves no chance for the the opposition or the competition. It always has to be 10 points clear, 11, 15 points clear. Break this record. I saw a stat today, actually. I saw a stat today which said Pep Guardiola now holds or shares the record for the longest winning run in La Liga history, Bundesliga history, Premier League history, and English top flight history, with 14 wins in a row across all competitions. That is remarkable. That is unbelievable. In 3 different countries, he's got the record for the most winning streaks. And listen, at the end of the day, when you look back at things, you look at records, you look at achievements, and there's other things that come into it. But when you're talking about sole accolades, for how long Pep has been in the game, it's absolutely ridiculous. It's as simple as that. And yeah, we know he hasn't won a Champions League without Messi, which everyone talks about. He hasn't won one without Messi. And it'll be interesting to see what happens this season. For me, I'm very keen to see what happens for Man City and Pep in the Champions League this year. I know it always feels like, does Pep feel like the only man? Is it only Pep, the only manager that gets rated on the Champions League or whatever? If Pep wasn't to win the Champions League again, there's not really much you can still say. He still had a great career. But it's always the impact of the fact that, he had the arguable GOAT. And it's the same way people are like, Zidane can't do it without Cristiano. Like, he went and won the La Liga, but he ain't won the Champions League. It's the same way. When you got the 2 GOATs, it's kind of like, oh, no, do you know what? It was just all down to the GOATs. When we know it's not like that, but that's just how it comes across. So I'm very interested to see, are they really the real deal? Are they really the team that can go now and win the Champions League? Because at this point now, they're 10 points clear of Liverpool, who should be the team that, they should be the team that finished second in the Premier League, or would have been the team that everyone had as favourites to win the league. And you look at the table now, City are 5 points clear of United with a game in hand. So they'll go 8 points clear. And that is only going to stretch on. They've conceded 13 goals this season. And when you look at the Man City team, they did spend money on their backline. The one thing you got to say about Pep Guardiola as well is that there's many checkbook managers in the game. Many checkbook managers in the game. But when Pep Guardiola does dip in his pocket, he rarely gets the signings wrong. When he spends that money, the signings go right. He spent all that money on Diaz, and it's gone right at the moment. Rodri, he's getting better and better. He's got Cancelo. He ended up basically not giving him... No, he played a lot of games last season, but it was here and there. He wasn't really starting games, and he's coming through. So what Pep Guardiola is doing is very good in that respect. When he spends, at least he gets it right. So his managers, if you look at like Jose Mourinho at Man United, for example, spent ridiculous loads of money and he didn't get any of it. But barely any of the signings turned out to be great signings. So when you look at things like that, you still got to give it the credit. You still got to say, hey, listen, and just put your hands up and say that he's doing a great job. So let's see what happens in Champions League. So I still think that's what everyone's going to rate him on. As I said, I think this Premier League, it's not that strong to me. It's not that strong. We've got West Ham, we've got Villa, we got these teams kind of punching above their weight. But I just don't think it's really that much of a strong league. And it just kind of goes to show Man United and Oli are second in the Premier League at the moment. Do you know what I mean? For me, that tells the biggest picture. And obviously, we know we've got a bandaged up Liverpool, and we'll see what happens with Chelsea. If Chelsea keep on Chelsea are like that. They get the new manager bounce, they'll keep winning games. So we'll see where these teams end up. But now that you've seen City go on this run, 14 wins in a row, conceded only 14 now, it's hard to see anybody stopping City. It's very hard to see anybody stopping City enough for them to lose that much ground for a team to then capitalize. That's the difference. Yes, City can drop 8 points, but can Man United win 8 points while City drop them 8 points? I doubt it. Can Liverpool capitalize on 10 points? I doubt it. I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's like that. And you look at some of the teams that have come back from great deficits, like United might have been 0-3. You look at City in 11-12. There's some teams that have done it, but I just can't see anyone in the Premier League at the moment with the strength of those type of teams. So I put it past them. So I would probably say Man City should go on to win the Premier League. And we'll see. We'll have a discussion in the end. I'm always going to think Alex Ferguson, he is the GOAT. But I'm happy to have the discussion. Bring both sides of the table. Bring 4 things for Pep and con. For Fergie and con. So I'm happy, pros and cons. So I'm happy to do that. But we'll move on to the next one, which is Ward-Prowse free kicks becoming inevitable? Is JWP, like, you know what I mean? You got Sean Wright Phillips had a nickname. Why can't Ward-Prowse? You know what I mean? SWP, JWP. He's earning a little nickname. And I was talking with people, and we were talking about his free kicks and how much of a dead ball specialist he is, which is ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous now. And we were talking about what if you know how Jack Grealish plays and wins all these free kicks for England, yeah? Then he wins all these free kicks for Villa, most foul player in Europe, like over 90 fouls. What if he goes and does that for England and Ward-Prowse is stepping over the set pieces? That's cash money. That's cash money. Like, if Jack Grealish is playing, winning these fouls, Raheem Sterling's a very foul player as well, and Ward-Prowse is stepping over them, that is a problem from all set pieces, corners, free kicks, and of course, direct free kicks as well. So is that an option for England? England are looking for a player to play in that centre mid role. So we'll probably say Phil Foden is after the game that he just had against Liverpool, he's probably going to try and get that little 10 role. But then there's got to be the DM. People might say Phillips or Rice or Hendo. I don't know. But there's still that number 8 role for England that hasn't been grasped. Is it Mason Mount? Is it somebody like Oxlade? Is it Hendo? Is it Ward-Prowse? Is it, you saw Jude Bellingham flipping get a debut the other day? Is it once upon a time it was Loftus-Cheek? No one has really grasped that role. So can it be Ward-Prowse? He's having a really good season at the moment. And when you look at it, since 2015, James Ward-Prowse is now officially the second best free kick taker in world football. Might as well call him the best free kick taker in the world football, because Messi, we don't talk about Messi. Yeah, I mean, like, he's the best at nearly everything. So, but when you think about it, he scored 9 free kicks since 2015. Messi has scored 21. Messi has scored 21. But as I said, I'm not going to talk about it. That's not human stuff, you know what I mean? So as a regular human, James Ward-Prowse is the best free kick taker in world football at the moment. And those are just facts. This is not even an opinion. Those are just facts. I'm not giving anyone an opinion right now. That is just a pure fact. Direct free kicks, he is the best free kick taker in the world football. So we all talk about the legends of the games, the great free kick takers. And just to put that in perspective, James Ward-Prowse has scored 9 free kicks in the Premier League in his career. I know people are probably thinking that sounds little, like 9. But you got to take into consideration the actual record for all these people that we call great free kick takers. The actual record in the Premier League is 18 with David Beckham. 18 free kicks that David Beckham has scored. I think Henry might be second or something, maybe like 14 or something like that. David Beckham has 18. Ward-Prowse has half of that. How old is Ward-Prowse? Ward-Prowse is about... Yeah, Ward-Prowse... Ward-Prowse is about 24. You know, he looks like one of them Premier League stalwarts that is going to be in the Premier League for nearly all his career and have a really... He's 26. 20, older than I thought. But he's 26 years old. But you know he's going to be in the Premier League until he's about 35. You can just tell he's one of them ballers. He's like a Gareth Barry and all them, man. Them man just Premier League vets. You know, like the MacArthur and them type of man. Them man, it's just like they will find a Premier League team regardless. You know, Phil Bardsley and them man. He will play in the Premier League whether you like it or not. And you know, with them set pieces and his skill set that Ward-Prowse has, he will probably be that type of player. And he's coming into his own. It's not a thing where I'm saying that he's a world-class player or anything like that. But 26 years old, 9 free kicks. He might have about 9 years. 9 years, I'll probably give... Maybe, I'm going to give him... He's going to be playing in the Premier League till he's about 34. Let's say 34. 8 years-ish. Let's say. Can he eclipse David Beckham? Can he? He's probably still got about 2 free kicks in him this season left. Can he eclipse David Beckham in the Premier League rankings at the end of his career for all-time free kick takers? And it's crazy that, you know, when we talk about Beckham, I'm not saying that he's a better free kick taker than Beckham or set piece, because Beckham scored 65 free kicks in his career. 65, which is absolutely just silly. And that's not talking about the assists from corners and he got 2 assists in the Champions League final from the corners, pretty much. Not the assists from corners, not set pieces that you take, the indirect or anything like that. I'm talking actually shooting on goal. Of course, David Beckham has 65. So where do we think Ward-Prowse, around what range are we going to think that Ward-Prowse is going to finish in? Is he going to become second? Is he going to eclipse David Beckham? And as I said, I keep thinking about Jack Grealish getting the ball on the left-hand side, running down a few people, getting clamped, Ward-Prowse stepping over it, flipping slabhead Maguire in the box, whip it in, England 1-0 against France in the Euro finals. You know what I mean? That's the hope. That's the vision. That's the vision. That's the dream. But hey, listen, with England, there's no dream, man. They ain't bringing nothing home more time. So that is another one where I think is going to be interesting. He's trying to make a claim. A lot of players are trying to make claims. So it's going to be interesting to see who really takes that role. There's people like Maddison. Can he do that role? Sometimes he drops into the 8. The thing about England right now is that England have a lot of options, but within those options, people are really pushing themselves at the moment, and that is what's good. You've got Grealish having the best season of his life. You've got Ward-Prowse having the best season of his life. You've got Mason Mount doing really well. You've got Maddison having an best season. You've got Foden ascending. You've got only people that are not maybe Sterling. You've got Kane possibly having arguably his all-round best season in terms of how he's playing. Of course, he's getting the assist numbers, etc. So many people, but the reason why I think, just to touch on England a little bit, the reason why I think they'll let it down is because that backline is just not good enough. That backline is just not good enough. I've just seen Trent get taken for a walk by Raheem Sterling. Chilwell, is he solid enough? Is he solid enough? You don't really know. Who else is pushing him? Luke Shaw? Maybe. Bring Luke Shaw back in. That might be decent. Maguire. Jesus. Listen, by now, Stoppage Time would have released. You guys would know what I think about Maguire. Trust me. You guys are going to know what I think about Maguire by the time this episode is released. John Stones, yeah, he's doing well, but, you know, Nathan Diaz. Why do I keep saying Nathan Diaz? Ruben Diaz effect. Pep Guardiola system effect. So I don't really know. Joe Gomez, walking injury at the moment. Who else is there? Like, yeah, you know, you get inexperienced players like Konsa. He's good, but he's inexperienced. Is he ready yet? I don't know. Michael Keane, he's not good enough. There's just... Then who's in goal? Pickford, did we say? Mings, is he good enough? I don't know. I don't think Mings is good. I don't know. Is he good enough? I don't think so. Not good enough for me to think, do you know what? I'm comfortable with what's going on back there. I'm not. So I'm going to touch more on England anyway. You guys we're in Stoppage Time would have released by now. We're going to probably have a Phil Foden discussion, etc. But next week I'll probably be discussing the England generation of players at the moment, because Phil Foden, that boy put down a marker today. He said, huh? Hey, I'm hearing Ansu Fati, I'm hearing Sancho, I'm hearing Haaland, I'm hearing. Don't forget me. That's exactly what he done today against Liverpool. So, listen, we're going to be discussing that probably more in depth next week. But we're going to be discussing that also. That's going to be on the episode of Stoppage Time as well. Make sure everyone locks into Stoppage Time as well. But listen, guys, how long was that one?
20 minutes.
I get it on point every single time. I got a 20-minute mark in my head, honestly. 20-minute mark in my head. But listen, guys, that was another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. So again, I'm going to ask you the question. Will this be Pep Guardiola's best title at Manchester City? Will Ward-Prowse potentially overtake David Beckham as the greatest free kick taker in Premier League history? Is he currently the best free kick taker in the world? We don't include Messi. And lastly, can you feel... it's not really a question, to be honest. It's just a little toucher. But who would be England's backline, to be honest? Who would be England's backline? Who is England's best 11? What is the best 11? For me, it's hard. Grealish on the left for me. Kane up top. Sterling maybe on the right. Foden. This is off my head. Rice. Maybe Mason Mount. Maybe Luke Shaw. I don't know. Luke Shaw. Maguire has to play because it's Maguire. Stones will probably get back in there. I don't even know who the goalkeeper will be. The right back. Trent is moving like... Somebody said Tiana Trent. He's moving like a stripper at the moment. I'm sorry, Trent, but you are. And is it not going to be Wan-Bissaka? Is it going to be Reece James? Is it going to be... I don't really know at the moment. It's so many names, but that's a question for you guys. Who will be England's starting 11 for you as well? So lastly, I'm going to go again. Will this be Pep Guardiola's best title at Manchester City? Will it? Is James Ward-Prowse en route to being the greatest free kick taker in Premier League history? What is England's best 11? Those are the three questions that I've got for you guys. But as I said, Stoppage Time will be out. Make sure you guys go back and watch that. Even if you haven't watched it by the time this is out, go back and watch that episode as well. And guys, listen, I say if it makes you mad, it makes you mad. This week, have you not noticed I haven't really been saying that because I'm taking it easy. I'm taking it light at the moment. But I'm soon going to have to stop dropping some real harsh truths again. You know, the first 10 episodes, I was giving you guys delivering the hard truth. I've taken it easy the last 3 episodes. I'm about to start pamming again. I don't know. I'm trying to be Mr. Nice Cams, but it's not really in me. It's not really in my blood. But guys, listen, all jokes aside, make sure you like, share, subscribe. And I appreciate you guys tuning in once again. And that is another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. Actually, finally, you guys, listen. It's been, I don't know how many weeks it's been since I first done my first episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. But every single week, there's probably been at least 3 comments, yeah, asking, what is the intro song? What is the intro and outro song? Guys, it's an exclusive. It's not a tune that's out there. It was specifically made by one of my guys, Natty. It was made by Natty. It's an unreleased tune. It's not even a tune that's out there. It was just a tune about black empowerment and black power and black is beautiful. But yeah, man, he's not even releasing it, guys, either. So for everyone that's asking, it was by my guy Natty. I hope that answers the question, man. There's not going to be no release. You're never going to find it on YouTube. I'm sure some of you guys have probably even tried to Shazam it. It's not going to be there. I'm telling you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Maybe that might make you mad. I don't know. But guys, listen, that's another episode of Don't Shoot the Messenger. And I am out.